Latin. I've always been fascinated by this language, Lingua Latina. I think it's a beautiful language, and also it's a very important language because it is the mother of all Romance languages, such as Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese and Romanian. In other words, if an Italian native speaker were to hear a person speaking in Latin, would the conversation be mutually intelligible, or would it sound like a completely different and foreign language? Or would that hypothetical Italian feel the parenthood of such language? The true answer is a bit of everything. There are some words and some sentences that are completely different to modern Italian, and we will get to reason in a few moments. But there are other words that sound exactly the same if it wasn't for very minor changes, normally to the end of the words most of the times, but not always to the end of the words, and we will see some of these as well. So it really depends. Some words might sound very natural to an Italian, some words they might sound a little different but still perfectly recognizable, and other words, if you haven't studied it, you wouldn't understand a thing. But why Italian? Why choosing Italian, not Spanish, not French, and not Romanian? Well, Italian is the second closest language to Latin, the first one being the Sardinian dialect. I don't think this should surprise us. Well, first of all, of course, Latin was born in Latium, so in the very heart of Italy, or the Italic Peninsula. So we can understand why Italian is quite close to Latin, and it should not surprise us that Sardinian actually has kept more similarities with Latin, because as Italian evolved, Sardinia, being an island and being detached from mainland, we could say did not approve certain changes, so to speak, maintaining a closer relationship to the mother language. But going back to Italian, so what are the actual differences between Latin and Italian? And as an Italian native speaker, how does Latin sound and feel to my ears? Well, of course, some pronunciation aside, and of course we will have to deal with ecclesiastical Latin and classical Latin in a moment, very briefly, but pronunciation aside, the most evident changes are in grammar, Italian being more simple than Latin, as Latin is a highly inflected language having 3 distinct genders, 7 noun cases, 4 verb conjugations, 4 verb principal parts, 6 tenses, 3rd persons, 3 moods, 2 voices, 2 aspects and 2 numbers. Nerf, next patch please. So I'm not saying Italian grammar is simple, it definitely isn't, although of course difficulty in a language really depends on your starting point, meaning that if you're Spanish, then most of the problems within Italian grammar will not be a problem at all, as they will be similar to your native tongue, whereas if you happen to be Chinese, then those grammar rules will make you hate our peninsula regardless of the wonderful pasta we are able to make. So, to answer that question, does Latin feel like a foreign language? No. Well, sometimes. Okay, let me explain this. There are some words, as I said, that are very, very similar and others aren't. So let's have a look at the list of these. I will read them first in Latin, and I'll give you the equivalent in Italian. Let's begin from words that actually are similar. For example, the word for museum in Latin is museum, museum. In Italian is museo. So you see that in this case, we have basically just cut the end, losing that sort of suffix that actually English kept. Although in English, you sort of modify the pronunciation, as in English you say museum, museum, whereas in Latin the pronunciation would be museum, u. Ecclesia, that's the word for church, in Italian becomes chiesa. Of course, you have words that come from this, such as ecclesiastical. We have that word in Italian as well, ecclesiastico. So you will understand that this word sounds similar enough. So we slightly changed the word, but kept it in compounds. Victoria. Now this one is interesting because in Italian the V becomes a V, same in ecclesiastical Latin. Ecclesiastical Latin is actually more similar in pronunciation to modern Italian, whereas classical Latin will differ a bit more. So I am actually using classical Latin here. So Victoria becomes Vittoria, and you will notice that CT becomes double T in modern Italian. This is a constant, it will always be like this. Pater, padre, mater, madre. So again, perfectly recognizable words, they just sound a bit different. But let's have a look at some words that don't sound like it. For example, bellum. Now bellum means war. Modern Italian for war is guerra. Has nothing to do with it. So most Italians, if you just tell them the word bellum, unless they have studied Latin, they won't be able to understand you. Although again, interestingly enough, the stem of the word remains even in other modern Italian words, such as the word for warring, like warring states, which becomes belligerante in Italian, and a common word with English, bellicoso, which means aggressive or bellicose. Very curious one is the word for home. Now in Latin that one becomes domus. In Italian it becomes casa or casa, depending on where in Italy you're from. So what happened to that word? Well, the thing is that if we look at the etymology of the word casa in Italian, it actually is, or Spanish or Portuguese, I believe we all share that word, although we pronounce it slightly different, and I'll get to that point in a minute. But the origin comes from another Latin word, which is the exact same, casa. The thing is, though, that when the Romans used the word domus, they referred to citizens, Roman citizens' houses, whereas when they used the word casa, they actually meant huts or sheds or shacks. And most of the time, ancient Romans would use those words for tribal houses of areas in the province or even enemy territory. So why did that become the common word in our modern languages? Most likely, but this is just my opinion as a linguist, so an educated guess, I suppose, I might be wrong, but so my idea is that most likely domus, as time progressed, became a word just to express the homes of rich people, whereas casa probably was used for smaller homes, which of course constituted the majority, and this is probably why most people considered casa as their own living quarters, and this is why probably this word became more popular. Now, as far as the pronunciation is concerned, just wanted to say a fun fact. In Italy, we know that in the south of Italy we pronounce it casa, whereas in the north of Italy it's pronounced casa. Now, I believe in Portuguese they stick to the z, so more similar to northern Italian pronunciation, whereas in Spanish I think that not only it's closer to the southern way of pronouncing, but it's actually stronger. So you've got casa, Spanish, casa, southern Italian, casa, northern Italian and Portuguese, and in some northwest regions in Italy it actually becomes casa, but it's more of a dialect in that case. So lots of different ways to pronounce that word. Pick the one you like. Then there are other words that we can understand but we could misunderstand, meaning the word, for example, pugno. Now gn in modern Italian and ecclesiastical Latin, it becomes a ñ sound, so an Italian would read it pugno rather than pugno, but in Latin that word actually meant to fight, for example. Just to give you an example, pugnatum est, the battle raged. But in Italian, pugno actually means punch, and we use the word combattere for fighting. So that word used in such context would sound odd and just a little outdated or perhaps old-fashioned or very like ancient. So by now you might have understood, you might have noticed I'm rather talkative. So with all this, what I try to say is sometimes Latin sounds foreign or just different. As far as the feeling an Italian gets when he hears Latin, now in my case, and I'd like to share my personal opinion, my personal experience, when I hear classical Latin, so the Latin used by the Romans, it feels powerful, it feels authoritative, it feels big, great, imposing. This is the feeling I get by adding those little words at the those little suffixes at the end. For example, museum. It's just to say the word for river, modern Italian, fiume, Latin fluvius. Like you see how this sort of sounds authoritative and powerful. When you move to ecclesiastical pronunciation, though, considering the fact that now it's the official language of the Holy See and it's often used for liturgy, for some reasons when I hear ecclesiastical Latin it sort of sounds religious. So it still keeps some of the authority of classical Latin, but it's more towards the holiness sort of situation. Of course, this must be a cultural filter, but that's the sort of feeling I get. Personally, I tend to prefer classical Latin. It sounds just stronger. Imperium. Now, personally, I think that feeling of power that most Italians, I think all the Italians I've spoken to, would agree with me. So I think the reason why Latin has such a powerful sound to it is because it was spread through the power of the Roman Republic, and that's how Latin became the dominant language, and with time throughout the entire empire. And I believe that this is one of the reasons why it sort of evolved into a language that needed to show the authority and power through a certain selection of sounds and words that would suggest just that. Italian, on the other hand, is a musical language. It's a romantic language when well spoken. So Italian has lost that powerful authority, but it has gained a softer feel to it. Now, to compare these two, I'm now going to read a passage about the Roman Republic, similar, not the exact same words, but I will read it both in Latin and in Italian. I'll first read it in Latin, classical Latin, and then I will read it in Italian. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know which one sounds more beautiful to you, and which one will be your favorite as far as the sound is concerned. Senatus populusque Romanus, inter rem publicam Roma, quae saeculo sexto evat parua media urbs, maior civitas in mari Mediterraneo facta est. Scriptores posteriores inter quos Livius rem publicam Romanorum cum novissimus septe regum Romae Lucius Tarquinius superbus depulsut esset condita esse scripserunt. Il Senato e il popolo romano. La Repubblica Romana fu il sistema di governo della città di Roma nel periodo compreso tra il 509 a.C. e il 27 a.C., quando l'urbe fu governata da un'oligarchia repubblicana. Essa nacque a seguito di contrasti interni che portarono alla fine della supremazia della componente etrusca sulla città. Alright then, I hope that you enjoyed this linguistic video. If you did, please remember thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content from the Metatron. Remember that I upload daily, so I will see you tomorrow, be waiting for you. Yes, you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. With a red t-shirt, I can see you. Yeah. Stop looking at your t-shirt. Yeah, I exactly mean you. Come tomorrow, okay? Waiting for you. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye.